Hey everybody, this is Ricardo with Gathering Magic, and today I'm going to go over the Battle for Zendikar Week 1 spoilers. These are going to be the cards that I think are going to make the most influence in Standard or Modern that have been spoiled so far, and we have a lot to go over. So let's dive right in. At number 5, we have Zada, Hedron Grinder. This card speaks to me. It's truly a marvelous card that has a bunch of potential. There are so many good cards that are cycling out of Standard that work with Zada, but we still have a ton of massive spells that make this creature just bonkers. You can pretty easily kill your opponent with one pump spell, or wipe their board with the right number of creatures. If you have 4 creatures with Zada included, you can kill your opponent off of 1 Become Immense, or if you feel like wearing them down, you can use cards like Artful Maneuver. He makes even the simplest of combat tricks exponentially more deadly. At number 4, we have Munda, Ambush Leader. I had spoiled this for Gathering Magic, and man, this card is quite dirty. A 3/4 with haste for 4 mana is already pretty reasonable, but the rally trigger just sends it right over the top. Now we can't say for certain if the allies in Battle for Zendikar are going to be solid as a whole, but the ones we have seen are good enough to see Standard play. In conjunction with Retreat to Emeria and Gideon, we always have a way of triggering Rally, so we have quite a bit of hope for allies to be a competitive deck. At number 3 we have Bring Delight. This card looks downright amazing. Let's read it real fast. It's a 5 mana sorcery that has the new mechanic Converge on it, and the card reads, search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card with the converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast Bring Delight. Exile that card, then shuffle your library. You may then cast that card without paying its mana cost. Now as a sorcery, this is bound to soak up a whole turn, but it can tutor a spell that you can cast right away. Now I'm sure a bunch of you are thinking the same thing. Well, if I'm not playing a 4-color deck, it's only going to grab me things that cost 3 or less. While you're certainly right to think that, we have the fetch lands from Khans of Tarkir and the dual lands that are fetchable from Battle for Zendikar, making splashing a 4th color easier, and 3-color decks are going to be incredibly easy to make. Let's look at the cards that you get at 3 mana or less that are currently played in Khans Block and Magic Origins. We have Deathmist Raptor, Savage Knuckleblade, any of the new Planeswalkers from Magic Origins, and your choice of removal spell. If you're converging at 4 colors, you get Siege Rhino, Thunderbreak Regent, and the list goes on and on. Now, this might just be me being a dreamer, but I absolutely love this card and can't wait to see what it can do. At number 2, we have the new dual lands. Alright, so these lands made it just in time. We have the Khans of Tarkir fetch lands, and the players will have to make some choices when fetching now. I feel like this is going to make the meta much more diverse, as we have the availability to just about any color combination. Lands are a super huge deal when they are printed, and they typically see play throughout the duration of the format they are in. These also have a very interesting clause that say they enter untapped if you control 2 basics. This isn't exactly a difficult goal to accomplish either. I'm looking forward to seeing these played in Standard and Modern. At number 1, we have the lovely new Kiora, Master of Depths. She is pretty absurd. She has a very high potential for running the format in Standard and being played in Teamer style decks in Modern. Let's go over her abilities. +1. Untap up to 1 target creature and up to 1 target land. Well, now we know why we haven't received an Elvish Mystic or Birds of Paradise-like creature for Standard. Her ability to ramp is very strong, and you can also use the ability to give your swinger a pseudo-vigilance-like presence. -2. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put up to 1 creature and or land card from among them into your hand and put the rest into the graveyard. Yep, you heard me. This not only helps you find your next land drop, but your next threat as well. This is pretty backbreaking in terms of advantage because all the other cards go into your graveyard. In Modern, you can use those other cards in conjunction with cards like Snapcaster Mage and get even more insane value. -8. You get an emblem with, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight target creature. Then, put 3 8/8 Blue Octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield. Now this is pretty sweet in the right list. While 8/8s with no evasion can be somewhat easier for other decks to answer, the emblem effectively turns them into creature removal, and if they stick around, they're a great win condition. It's pretty straightforward. Alright, well that's all I have for this week's spoilers. Stay tuned, we're going to have more spoilers next week, and if you have any comments that you would like to leave, go ahead and put them in the comment box below. Thanks for watching here at Gathering Magic.